Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Northland Open quarterfinals.
Squash XLPRO is an elite team that work hard to train, play and run squash events on our journey to climb the world rankings. Like, subscribe, comment, pick up some of our merch on Teespring.
And on court we have Glenn Templeton about to be joined by TEMWA Chileshe. Chileshe ranked 140 in the world PSA rankings and Glenn Templeton 334. And should be a good match, this one, the quarterfinals, Northland Open. Some very good matches coming up today as well. We've got Riley Jack Vetter-Blomqvist, local player, up against Sean Wiggin. That's the next quarterfinal. And following that will be Elijah Thomas against Wills Donnelly. And then we have the Australian Damon McMillan against the top seed Luama Chileshe. So 4 very entertaining matches about to come up. And as we're about to start here, you can hear the umpire just going through, and the boys are ready. A very nice facility here, and it's great to have Nick Wilson with me. And Nick, one of the players here from the Whangarei Squash Club. And A2 player, you had a little bit of a game last night there, Nick. How'd you go?
Had a bit of a battle against Sean Wiggin, but obviously too strong for me, but he's playing well.
Yeah, so but nice to have all this tournament here at your club, isn't it? You know, I'm sure last night it was pretty busy with some local players on court.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's great to see. Had the good guys come up here and play and get all the locals out and about. Everyone's keen to come out and have a go, so it makes it a bit more interesting and gets a good crowd at the club again, which is what we're all about.
Well, it's a good setup. It's the first time for me here personally, and it's open. That's what I like, because I can actually find all the courts. Some other clubs you can't even find the main court. Yeah. So it's nice that people can look over or sit down around. I mean, you've got chairs and tables around the main court here, and that's great. Plus all the seating, seating down by the court as well. So that's fantastic to have that sort of thing. Is the club going well by your reckoning?
Yeah. I'm part of the committee, and so obviously, it's going great. Like we've got a good solid member base here, probably 160.
That's
so
good.
It's great. Like you say, the facilities are great, so everyone's keen to come down. Most nights it's fully booked out. About 4 through to 7. So it's been really good recently.
And you've got a decent sized car park, although I am on the grass, so I hope I don't get towed. I can see my car, so it's all right.
No,
a lot of cars there.
We've got all the grass as well, so. Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is that it's an easy venue to get to.
Yeah.
Whether from the south or from the kind of motorway coming through town as well.
It's very central to the Northland region, so it is good.
Now there is another club in the Whangarei. There's one other or 2 other clubs. There's Manaia as well, isn't there?
Yeah, Manaia, which is out towards Whangarei Heads a bit more. So they've got a very, very good junior contingent at the moment. About 3 or 4, even more of them coming through, and they're sort of that B.
Because Riley Jack's from there, isn't he?
From there originally as well. Yeah.
And then Freddie Jamison, I think.
Freddie Jamison, plenty. I'll miss a few. Yeah, so there's a good crew out there, and they're really coming along. So it's looking very strong.
Well, that's good that you've got another club that's competitive with you guys.
Yeah, Carmo just crossed town as well, so they're decent players as well. So.
Right, okay, well that's great. Well, in the meantime, just looking here at this particular match, TEMWA Chileshe had a bit of a battle last night against Finn Trimble. Finn Trimble, one of the local lads.
Favourite, yeah, so it was good to see Finn get up for it. Unfortunately, didn't quite get all the way, but TEMWA's been playing very well. So.
Well, a final at the Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Open just a couple of weeks ago to Evan Williams, and that was a big tournament with all the Aussies coming over. Yeah. And good to see the Kiwis beat all the Aussies as well.
It's always good, yeah.
No, that was good to have that on TV, and we've got the New Zealand champs coming up in 2 weeks. Oliver Sport New Zealand Championships in Wellington. Are you in for that?
I am in for that one. Yeah, I'm going to make a trip down for that one. Have a nudge again, but we shall see.
Okay, so do you know your draw?
I do know my draw. Yeah.
Are you happy with it?
Oh, it's good as it's going to get for the time being. So I think
I'll have to check that out.
First, maybe.
Okay, right. Okay, well you can suss him out because he's in the 3rd game today, Elijah against Wills Donnelly. So it doesn't really get easy for you, does it?
No, but that's what we play, so it's good. That helps.
Yeah. I mean, it has been good for all of the players of the guys like out here as well. This is, I think, the 7th or 8th PSA Challenger tournament this year. Certainly there's been a number of them. And TEMWA is searching for his first PSA Challenger title. He's been runner-up at Auckland. He was runner-up to his brother in Morrinsville. and runner-up at another one as well, which has just skipped my mind. There's been a few.
Yeah.
But it's been good to have all these tournaments, isn't it, for guys like this?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's been great to see them playing from early get-go. I was a bit far behind. I couldn't believe they were playing. Couldn't start to play in that February window, so they've been playing for a while now. So.
Well, they're going to Australia for a couple of tournaments after the NZ Champs, which will be good to see again, just for them to travel anywhere. Isn't it interesting just the way he controlled this point, but then kind of. I think the difference is, and you'll certainly be able to comment on this, is that the step up in the way they can control the points, no panic, in theory.
And they can get everything back, so it's just cutting. It's just a lot faster and more volleying. It's a good, clean game.
Let's have a look at this point now. Just taking his time, took that one off his body there, and that's the other thing, being able to take the ball on the full or close off your body, and then direct it with no pace or plenty of pace.
Just keep it, just tidy it up. Nothing silly.
The thing with Tem is every now and then, and Luamba, they both want to do something spectacular. You can see it, and every now and then it comes out. But even that point again, just total control. Didn't do anything. Oh, we've got a string. Yeah, didn't do anything too dramatic there. Just took his time, and he's 6-4 up. It doesn't really matter at the moment, does it? A couple points lead. Would you say
putting some work on the legs again, so vice versa? So it's good to see.
And would you say as a player, it's when you get to sevens that it starts getting closer? If you get to 7-all or something like that.
It's definitely step up in your concentrations. It's try to be there the whole time, but often not. It's on and off. But
yeah, I mean, there's always pressure, but when you get to 7-all, it's kind of make or break, isn't it?
Definitely.
And so who's the big rivals for you at this club?
This club, all the young guys actually from the Naya. They come play next Wednesday night. We have like sort of a joint club sort of competition all Wednesday night. So and then another Regan Wakeman playing Adam Thompson. So there's Max hasn't been playing. Max Trimble hasn't been playing recently, but with Riley moving back down.
To the North Shore now.
North Shore,
I mean, it's for study for him. He wants to be an ambulance officer, and it makes sense. I mean, hey, the North Shore Squash Club is next to the hospital, so he's got plenty of opportunities.
Perfect. Yeah. So we're just trying to get Brent Lewis out of retirement. He had one hit with me this week, so that'll be good. Start playing. He's just about to drop into his Masters at 35, so I think he's keen to start chasing a national title.
Let's have a look there at this point nicely. Just a bit of power on that one. And waiting for the stroke or a lip. Lip. It's almost a slow motion point, isn't it?
Yeah. Oodles of time.
Well, the thing is, to try and do a lift over Glenn Templeton is quite difficult, and same with Finn Trimble and a few other players.
TEMWA isn't that short either, to be fair.
No.
So it's
you got to lift. You're going to have to really lift, don't you?
Yeah, it's got to be in the right spot, nice and wide.
That's better. Well, it was a long point, and I think in the end the footwork wasn't quite there. So we're still keeping it pretty close as Glenn Templeton, just the 1 point buffer at the moment in favour of TEMWA CHILESHE. And a few sort of slow motion, going through the motions points. Hasn't quite taken the authority on it just yet. Oh, gee, you hear the strings on that one. He's going to break another one. And there we go, just taking our time.
Contact and moving through the middle. Two big boys moving around each other.
Yeah.
On their space eventually.
So was there a junior that used to come up against when you were a junior in Christchurch?
Yeah, there's plenty of good guys above me that I was always chasing when I started. So who was my age? Probably Chris Vandersarm would be, Jackson Beresford, two ones I was always chasing.
Which club was your club in
I
Coastal?
played for Squashways, which no longer exists.
Okay.
Unfortunately, so yeah, Paul Kroger was very good for me there.
Oh, yeah, put himself in a difficult position there. Did Glenn Templeton, played it back pretty straight, and wasn't going to be able to get out of the way of that.
Shot.
And yeah, gets one back. That's the only problem with Glenn's game, is that he'll do a silly error where he gives away a shot and then he hits a winner.
Yeah, well, Glenn's got all the potential, so.
And there we go, one back again. So we're seeing a real mixture. I wouldn't say it's of the highest standard just yet, and I don't think that's really, I don't think anyone would disagree.
It's warming up, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Squeeze.
Yeah, got it right hard against the wall, and not much you could do with that. So how many rackets do you go through a season by accidentally hitting the wall?
I try not to go through any, but it's normally about 1 or 2 every couple of seasons, so it's pretty good. Yeah. I don't play quite as much as these guys.
Nice little chop on that one. Gets control of the point.
Well done. Shot.
Oh, that's much better. And just hanging in there, isn't he?
Yeah, very much a linked game at the moment. No one's pushing it in too short too much.
So what could you say that a junior could learn from a game like this so far?
It's consistent. These guys don't make any mistakes, so it's nothing patient. Good link.
The other thing with Glenn Templeton is that he doesn't look as though he moves that well, but he actually does, because he just takes big, lanky strides, doesn't he?
Big strides, one step to the ball away, nice powerful lunges into the front.
And because a lot of people have been critical of the way he moves, but really when you see the way he gets to the ball, sometimes it surprises you.
Yeah, still getting the ball, so.
I mean, that's the difference between, say, Sean Wiggin, who will just zoom everywhere,
Exactly,
and Glenn, who will just take a couple of loping steps, or Mason Smales, for instance.
Yes,
And there we go, the first game, 11-8. So TEMWA CHILESHE taking the first, 11-8. We're back now for the second game. This is the first quarter-final, and you've got TEMWA CHILESHE up against Glenn Templeton. The first game going to TEMWA CHILESHE, 11-8. It was a bit of a subdued effort by both players. I wouldn't say they were going through the motions, but it was just more they were just working their way into the game. And good to have Nick Wilson with me for that first game as well. One of the better players here from the club, from Whangarei Squash Club. And there is around about 100 players. Oh, gee. If you had to hit it in the 10, well, you just about put it through. So about 100 players in the divisions here. We've got 5 men's divisions and 3 women's divisions. And that ball just getting stuck in the corner. Glenn Templeton mistiming his swing a little bit. And the defending champion is TEMWA CHILESHE. Oh, couldn't quite get around the big body of Glenn Templeton. Later on today, we do have Northland's own Riley Jack Blomqvist against Sean Wiggin. That'll be fun. The two of them train together at the North Shore Squash Club. And Riley Jack from the Mania Club here. Oh, the ball just somehow, how that managed to get on from another court, we don't actually know. That's pretty amazing to hit a ball from the second court onto this one. And so that's the reason for the stop of play. So we're still back at 2-3. checking for the call. Now these two players, we're back for the same point again. We've been here before, about 3 or 4 times already. Remembering that Glenn Templeton is still 19 years old, TEMWA CHILESHE 20. Oh, nice little cut on the backhand there, and good control of the point. Yeah, it was a very controlled point, cut the ball, stayed low. CHILESHE got to it. Templeton then just taking the pace off on the forehand, but on this occasion, not able to control it. Just rolling over that backhand. It was almost casual, but very effective there. Ball going way above the line, but dropping in. Oh, tried a very low boast, and it was far too low in the end. So now he's got the 2-point advantage as TEMWA CHILESHE, the second seed. And another big 10. Well, if you're going to make a mistake, make it big. And we've had a couple of those now. It certainly gives TEMWA CHILESHE just that extra lead. Again, not doing too much. He had a 5-gamer last night against Finn Trimble. The third and fourth sets were certainly one-way traffic against TEMWA CHILESHE, but he came back in the end to seal it. And the let approved there. TEMWA looking for a stroke. Glenn got himself in a little bit of trouble playing the ball so straight. His body was questionably in the way. And just getting that one back. Plenty of options for Templeton. And you may be able to hear Heather Finlay calling the shot and calling the stroke. So TEMWA taking the big advantage now of 4 points. It's the biggest he's had. And don't forget, you can come through and leave a message. Say who you'd like to win. On Facebook, would be happy for you to do that. Just a little bit of lack of movement there. Glenn Templeton suffering from just not being able to get out of the way, the small footwork. It's not about the big strides, it's all about the small feet. And we're a little bit of a lax couple of points here by both players at the moment. Almost mentioned we didn't want to say they were going through the motions before, but there's been a few points where they have been. So Glenn Templeton coming back into it a little bit more on a couple of errors and a little bit of bad positioning. Strong serve going straight at the body. Let's see if TEMWA CHILESHE can finish this one off, go through to the semi-finals. Be played later on this evening. That's a nice touch.
Hi.
An interesting shot. Well, Templeton decided to stay right there. If perhaps he had it blocked, but instead of taking the swing, it may have worked, but it would have been fantastic timing. What a relaxed shot, and so successful on it. Well, the temptation was again for Templeton. He was waiting for the shot to be blasted at the back of the court. Instead, it was more of a drop at the front. And now we have the second game, 11-6 that was. So good to have you tuning in there, and great to have Nick Wilson, one of the players here at the Whangarei Squash Club. He's got a big match coming up against Finn Trimble. That will indeed be a big match on court. Could be the feature match of the afternoon, I think. In the meantime, the other match is coming up on the main court. Riley Jack Vetter Blomqvist up against Sean Wigan, the two practice partners out of the now North Shore Club. And then we've got Elijah Thomas up against Wills Donnelly. Damon McMillan, the left-handed Australian. Great to have him around as well. He's up against the top seed, Luamba Chileshe. And just a question there. And no matter who's winning, the boys can still smile and laugh. Nice touch from Glenn Templeton, bringing TEMWA CHILESHE in close. He wasn't able to lift it up, pick it up, so the not up there, and Templeton gets on the board. Nice shot, holding it very well, coming underneath, giving the ball no flight at all. Good to see a few winning shots coming in. And as we mentioned with Nick Wilson, don't forget we do have the Oliver Sport NZ Champs coming up in 2 weekends away in Fraser Park in Hutt Valley. Full 32 draws. And we still have a couple of other Challenger tournaments coming up. We have one in Howick it's Glenn Wilson's club where he coaches. That's in July, and I think there's one more around the country. I'll let you know about that one as well. Look at that for a buzz. Oh, and we get a let for that one. Glenn Templeton just pointing out, well, I hit it over there. The 4-1 lead for TEMWA CHILESHE to go through the semi-finals. Certainly a very inventive shot, the boast from Templeton. And a little bit of head down now as TEMWA CHILESHE just moves away. Nice little lead. And not up on that one. That's a couple now that Chileshe hasn't been able to get to because the shot from Templeton has been so good. And just as we say, a good shot, well, that one pretty much in the bottom of the tin.
Shooting.
Nice shot there from TEMWA CHILESHE. Of course, his ranking is up to a career high 140, which is fantastic to have 4 players now in the top 150. We've got, of course, Paul Cole at number 4 in the world, Evan Williams, 67. Luamba Chileshe, 126. We've got 140 for TEMWA, and Joel Ascott is around about the 150 mark. So that's fantastic to have all those players. That's 5 players, in fact, inside the top 150. So the player's just stopping there. And almost came off, just hit the top of the tin. So just wanting to wrap it up is TEMWA Chileshe.
Shot.
And when you're down 3-9 in the third and you just flick through a shot there for a winner from the back of the court, spectacular stuff. Let's see if he can do it again. The mistake, the error there from TEMWA Chileshe just lets Templeton into the match a little bit more. Still a long way to go from 5-9 down, remembering that the first two were 11-8 and 11-7 towards TEMWA Chileshe. Again, that's served pretty much at the body, and there's the 10. So a few unforced errors, but then TEMWA Chileshe hasn't really been put under a huge amount of pressure on this, the third. Okay, the pressure is now on. We just said there was none, but it's now 7-9, so he's come back nicely from 3-9 down, winning 4 in a row, mainly on unforced errors from TEMWA Chileshe. Don't forget, if you want to come through, send some messages on Facebook about Riley Jack against Sean Wiggin, who perhaps should be winning that one. And then another one which is, well, really up in the air, and that is Elijah Thomas against Wills Donnelly. Final quarterfinal it is today. Luamba Chileshe against, nice shot, just poking at the ball to make it 9-all. So a good comeback from 3-9 down to 9-all. As we said, the final match of the quarterfinals, that is Luamba Chileshe against Damon McMillan, the Australian left-hander. And we've seen some good work from Glenn Templeton to come back from 3-9 down to 9-all. However, just positioning not so good on that one, and it is match ball for TEMWA Chileshe.
Squeeze.
And yeah, you heard the call, squeeze. Yep, and he was squeezed against the wall and takes that 11-9 in the end. So 11-8, 11-7, 11-9, the victory for TEMWA.